Good evening, everyone. It's raining, pouring in Michigan this evening, so I thought we would continue the tutorial on the all-in-one approach to succeeding at the piano. Let's begin with pages 8 and 9. Here our students are learning the groups of 2 and 3 black keys on the piano. They learn in hiking up on page 8 that in order for the student to hear the sound getting higher, they have to go to the right of the keyboard. And on page 9 in hiking down, in order for students to hear sounds going lower, they have to move to the left on the instrument. So in these pieces, the really great practice strategies start. Number 1, raise your left hand. We want to make sure our students understand that that is their left hand. So many young kids have an issue with that, and of course that lasts a long time. Oh, raise your left hand. Oh, which one is it? And they constantly raise up the other hand. Wiggle fingers 2 and 3. Press these fingers into your thighs. In this way, they become even more kinesthetically aware of what are their 2 and 3 fingers. And then they will remember which fingers have to be on every group of 2 black keys. Say the words in rhythm with your teacher. It's so vital for students to internalize the rhythm before they play anything. So you would have your students go ahead and point to each one of these finger numbers while they say the words. So it'd be like this: hiking up the great big mountain. And then afterwards you can ask them to point again to the fingerings and say the fingerings aloud like this: 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Again, can you press your fingers 2 and 3 in your thigh? Oh, yes, very good. Excuse me. So which finger will start each group of notes? Oh, the 3rd finger will. All right, let's press that finger in your thigh. Then we ask the students to look at the piano map, and they will find the group of 2 black keys on the piano map, and they will find a group of 2 black keys somewhere. I would think it would be important to be below middle C. Then we ask them, how many groups of black keys are you going to play in this piece? And they'll say 4. And then how many moves will there be? And they will count them. When they start on this group of 2 black keys, they'll move once, twice, and 3 times. It's really important for our young beginner students to understand how many groups of notes there are on the page and how many moves there will be. So now the next practice strategy is very important for all students from beginner level all the way through advanced professionals. And this is to be used whenever we see a jump or a leap in a piece. You're going to be hearing me talk about this for a long time in these videos. What the student does is they prepare the first group of 2 black keys. And instead of just willy-nilly try to find these groups of 2 black keys on the piano, we specifically ask them to think about where they're going to move to. In rhythm, we say, ready, look. They look to the next group of 2 black keys, and then we say move. So this is how it goes. Ready, look, move. Ready, look, move. Ready, look, move. They have moved 3 times, and they have found every group of 2 black keys beautifully. If the student has trouble with this, slow down your tempo when you ask them to do this practice strategy, and just make sure that they are 100% accurate when they get to the group of 2 black keys. So it's really important for students to understand at the beginning of playing that their entire playing apparatus is made up of the forearm, the wrist, and the hand and the fingers going down and up at the same time. So if you need to, you can certainly put your arm on their forearm and actually guide their hand and their arm to the very next group of 2 black keys. Okay, so that's what we want to feel. Of course, we can't do this during our live streaming sessions during this very pivotal time in our life with the COVID-19 quarantines. But we can certainly do this motion or this motion to ourselves at home and have the student watch us through their camera so that they understand that this playing apparatus has to move up and down at the same time. This is this good sense of arm weight that I will talk to you about later. All right, so when they play this piece the way it's written, I ask the students to make sure that they remember that the third finger begins first. So it's just another preparatory question. I believe that in order for students to not play with mistakes, we have to make sure that we ensure really good practice steps before they play so that they play with 100% accuracy. So at this point, I think they are ready to play the piece as written. Okay. So, the note to teachers at the bottom: encourage students to play on their finger pads and without dents. We want to make sure that the students feel that nice cushy layer of their fingers. We don't want to tell them to play on their fingertips because this means that they're bracing, gripping, and squeezing. This also means that they are going to be tight when they play the piano. And they are going to play with quite an ugly sound. Instead, if we have them play dropping with their entire playing apparatus and being sure to play on the pads of their fingers, they're going to play with a beautiful, supple sound. Of course, this takes weeks and months. The next piece is hiking down. We do the same practice strategies. Raise your right hand. Yes, this is definitely my right hand. Wiggle fingers 2 and 3 and 4. And then gently push these fingers in your thigh. Take a look at the musical map so that you know where you're going to begin. And go ahead and tell me how many groups of notes are there in this piece. There are 4 groups. And how many moves will you make? 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. So before they start to play, we can definitely have them say the lyrics in rhythm with us. Ready? Down we go, look below. We've had fun, now we're done. Every bit of rhythm is done completely steady, steady, steady. Start at the high part of the keyboard, and now we're going to just remind our students to start with fingers 4 so they could kind of tap their little 4th finger. They could go to the next group and tap their 4th finger, the next group of 4 with a 4th finger at the top and tap again here. But we're not ready for the student to play yet. We have to do that play, prepare, practice strategy. Shall we do it together? So here's the group of 3 black keys. We say ready, look. They look to the next group of 3 black keys, and we say quickly, move. Ready, look, move. Ready, look, move. Let's do that again. So you might do this several times in a row for a beginner student to really have the student play with ease. Okay, so now when we're ready, why don't we go ahead and play them as a nice clump. And again, they'll feel that their playing apparatus is all moving down and lifting at the same time. And slowly, down we go, look below, we've had fun, now we're done. In the beginning stages of learning, I like the idea that the student is looking at the music while they're playing. If you have them practice that play, prepare, practice strategy long enough, they'll be able to do that without looking down. But even at this point, if they look down once or twice, then it's totally fine. So they get the idea of playing on the pads of their fingers and keeping these 4 little hills nice and up while they've got a nice letter C between fingers in 1 and 2. And we exclaim to them, that's perfect piano hands, and what a great piece you just played for me. So now let's go on to page 10.